Frame 4.
Matthew Stevens with it all to do then in his semi-final here at the Wuxi Classic against John Higgins. He's had chances in all 3 frames, but he's lost all 3. He desperately needs to get this one in the bag. This is the final frame before the interval. 6 the target.
And not a good break-off. He's left a possibility of a pot to the left corner. One of those type of pots where cue ball's going back towards baulk. Less pressure on these type of pots. Although the red down into the right corner will take him to the black. And in it goes. Cue ball just a little strong.
Again,
Did it very cleanly though, didn't he? More evidence of how well Higgins is cueing with this brand new cue.
And this not straightforward for Matthew Stevens. If he lands up into the side of the pack, he could leave a red on. If he comes off into the left side, also a red he could leave on. So this needs some thinking about. Playing off 3 cushions, trying to land up into the back of the reds. 1, 2, 3. And he'll be happy with that. Had he missed that first red, he'd left one on. But he gave it a lot of thought.
Could easily have slipped past the edge of that red, couldn't he? Which would have left Higgins with an easy opener. Black on its spot and available. Those are the margins.
Not a bad kiss on the yellow there. The red closest to the right corner pocket, just making things awkward. He comes off the right side of the reds there. That red hindering the way back to baulk.
Well,
that really was a thin one that he was attempting there. And worthwhile having that replaced rather than playing this long red. Problem is, if he does catch it thin, it'll be a good safety. Well, that was a super shot and perfectly judged. He played for the pink into the middle, came down, had a look at it. Great shot. Pink down onto the yellow spot.
Set.
Black not available into the right corner.
8.
Well, again, he's got a kick which took the pace out of the cue ball. So unfortunate. Would have been the right side of the blue with an easy positional shot. Now he's got to dodge the colours in coming in and out of balk. Fortunately, there are plenty of reds to play for. Played it well. Couldn't have played it any better. Choice of reds.
$40.
Well, he just potted the red off the wrong angle, and that's why the cue ball's finished up there. Would have been straighter on the black. Now a tricky little cannon required. That'll do nicely. Don't think he can get to the black,
21.
but he can play up for the blue.
$22.
Again, played it in such a way as to be on choice of reds. Would have liked to have been straight on these two reds above the black. That way he could have played for the black. It's the red that's closest to the right corner that's been causing him problems in this little break.
$26.
Has the chance to play for that red now. Although the yellow could be in the way. And that's the one he's played for, and he's on it.
31.
And now it should be plain sailing for a few shots at least.
Well, Stevens is proving here that he's playing well. Yes, he's 3-0 down, but the match has been much closer than that scoreline suggests.
39.
If he can win this frame before the interval, the match is still very much alive for him.
$40.
Again, he just hasn't come far enough. He may have to play a cannon to the red directly above the black. And it hasn't worked out. And it's just because he was an inch out of position on the black.
47.
So this frame's still very much in the balance, unless he pulls out a very tough pot here. Very difficult pot to the right middle. You could also play the other one to the right middle, the one on the pink spot. At least that one, there is some safety if he misses it. Oh yes, great pot.
48.
Well, that should be a frame winner. Deserves to be a frame winner.
Hope you enjoyed the bird's eye view of that one. Certainly gave you an indication of how little of the pocket that Stevens had to aim at. Very narrow angle of entry. But he's cueing very sweetly. We could yet have a cracking match on our hands.
56.
Impressive response this, though, for Stevens to the disappointment of the first 3 frames, all of which he could have won. But he's shown his class here. And he's reminding John Higgins that he's around. And that's a big bounce.
He still needs one more red, though. And as you say, Phil, that was a big bounce.
63.
Well, he's got to dig deep again. 66 in the game. 67 left on the table.
And he knows better than anyone that Higgins is more than capable of clearing these balls and stealing another frame. And that really would be a body blow. But that cue ball, Joe, really seemed to take off from the right side cushion.
It certainly did. And nothing at all that you can do about that. You play the shot where you expect the cue ball to land. And it's so unfortunate when it comes off faster than it should do. So just the safety. He's not safe yet. Tried to push the black onto the cushion, but that red needs to go past the middle. Now, has it gone past enough? Would be a natural angle to come back down for the black.
So the difference is 66, 67 left, so not much room for manoeuvre for Higgins here.
All on this shot. There it goes. And it was a natural angle to come back down for the black. It needs a big bounce. Well, he's given himself a chance. Tough black. And he's going to have to play a little cannon to the reds. Oh, now does the red pass the red?
Listen
If
to
it
the
does,
crowd, they're really enjoying this out there.
if the red passes, if not, then it's all the way around the table.
Tremendous atmosphere out in the Wuxi Sports Centre. They are glued to their seats as Higgins spots a foreign object in one of the reds. Brendan Moore steps in to give the ball a polish, but my goodness, how mentally would Matthew Stevens be able to recover from this were he to lose this frame? Still a lot to do, but there the Hawkeye confirmation that the red passes.
I just wonder if he can drop this in and stay on the black, or will he have to go in and out of balk? Well, he's played for the pink, which means he can only tie the frame now. Sigh of relief, I expect, from Matthew Stevens. He knows he won't lose the frame at this visit.
$15.
Mind you, you wouldn't bet against Higgins forcing a respot from here.
Yeah, Yes, but it
16.
does mean that Matthew Stevens will get another shot. Had he been able to take blacks, he may not have been coming back to the table at all. He's been so unfortunate so far this morning, Matthew Stevens. And that big bounce
24.
just summed it up. But it's not over yet.
The fact that the pink is on the yellow spot, just behind the yellow, is a potential source of irritation for Higgins as he looks to complete the clearance here and force the respotted black.
Now needs to leave an angle on the black to be able to get to the yellow.
31.
And the yellow is easily gettable if he comes up that right side of the table.
32.
Just needs to come to it from the middle pocket. So a stun to just before the middle pocket gets him onto the yellow. He's a little hard. He's a little hard. But he's nicely on the yellow.
Higgins has made clutch clearances just like this one countless
14.
times in his career. Nerves of steel at his best. Rock solid temperament. What must Matthew Stevens be thinking
44.
right now? What must he be feeling?
He'll be thinking, I need to play a good safety shot on the black. If indeed it's him to strike first. Perfectly on the blue.
$53.
One good positional shot then. We seem headed for a respot.
Just
59.
overdone it a little, but he's nicely on the black.
Stand by for the applause.
Brilliant.
Well, vintage Higgins there. Stevens desperately unlucky to get a bad bounce when he was on the very cusp of clinching his first frame, but how ruthless Higgins was. Stepped in with a clearance to tie the scores, and so this fourth frame comes down to a shootout on the black. A respot. Stevens, at least from his point of view, has won the toss. Something's gone his way, and he's invited Higgins to have first crack at this black. What a huge black ball this is in the context of this match. Surely if Higgins were to pot it and move 4-0 in front, it's just too tall an order for Stevens. But if he can pinch the frame, the match is back on. Big moments coming up here. Crowd still buzzing with excitement at what they've seen so far. High drama in Wuxi. Well, would you believe it? I swear Stevens had almost released the cue there. And yet more noise from the crowd. You can understand their excitement at what they're seeing, but they really have to be mindful that these players need the utmost concentration at moments like this.
Yes, he's considering taking the double on into the corner, sending the cue ball up into balk. Full of danger, that shot. Took it on.
He hasn't been afraid of going for it today. So far, it's not paid off, and will that prove to be very costly as well?
Well, he just played it a little too hard for my liking. The cue ball should have been closer to the cushion, and that way the black wouldn't have travelled the third time across the table.
This for 4-0 at the interval for John Higgins.
Oh, so close. But he's got a good cue ball.
It was a millimetre away, no more. So close, in fact, that he might have fluked it into the opposite pocket. This is potable, but it's very, very tough.
You're not kidding. And also the enough is on into the baulk corner.
And that would just about set the seal on Matthew Stevens' afternoon. But if he can somehow sink this one and keep the cue ball on the table in the process, he'll feel a lot better as he goes off for his interval refreshments.
Oh. Well, at least the cue ball hasn't gone in the pocket. He's got a very good cue ball, and this is a very tough pot indeed.
Close to the cushion and very straight, makes it very tough. This will take some potting.
Well, at least it's just off straight.
Oh,
Great
he's
pot.
nailed it. What a hammer blow for Matthew Stevens. He looked a certainty to win that frame, but he got a bad bounce. He lost position. Higgins produced a typically clinical clearance, and instead of 3-1, it's 4-0.